Day Classic. We appreciate all the attendance here, Texas Southern, Prairie View, and everybody else. My name is Don Truell. I am president currently of the Touchdown Club of Houston. We always look forward to this. I look forward to it because I just live a little ways from here out in Missouri City, so it's always close for me to get over here a lot quicker than going over in the Galleria area where we have a lot of our functions. Anytime you do a fair such as this, there's a lot of people involved, a lot of people that are behind the scenes, and I'd just like to first recognize a few of those people real quick. We have a board of directors. We have a few of them here today. One up here on the dais with me, but if all the board of directors of the Touchdown Club that are present, I think we have 3 or 4 here. If y'all stand up, we appreciate it. Right over here, Earl back here, Charlie. Appreciate your help in all of this. As I mentioned, it takes a lot of people and a lot of hard work for this to come together. We have some sponsors that I want to recognize. If y'all hold your applause till I'm finished, we appreciate their involvement, and both from the Texas Southern side and also from the Prairie View side. I'd like a representative, when I get to the title sponsors, to come up here at the end of this introduction. First of all, our purple sponsors, Prairie View Athletics. A purple sponsor and a maroon sponsor, TSU's Office of the President. Barcelona Sporting Goods, special thanks to them. Special thanks to attorney Erica Hughes. Special thanks to Burt Simmons State Farm. We appreciate all those. Now, the last but not least, our title sponsors, if they'll come up here, I appreciate it. Someone from Central Care Community Health Center. We appreciate your sponsorship. Someone from community will come up here. If they're here. Next title sponsor, A Rocket Moving. And certainly last but not least, Frenchie's Chicken. Okay, let's give all those sponsors another round of applause. Also have a few special guests, kind of like old home week for me, a few people, equal time on both sides. Fellow that I played with for the Oilers for about 3 or 4 years, Texas Southern, ex-Charlie Frazier. Where's Charlie sitting? Charlie, back in the back. Another individual here that I didn't have the opportunity to play with, he's a little bit younger than me. You probably can tell by looking, sitting down there in the front. Willie Alexander played with yours. Stand up, Willie. And then again, last but not least, a Pro Football Hall of Famer from Prairie View. Had an opportunity to play with him before we went to the Redskins, Kenny Houston. Great tradition with those fellas, let me tell you. Touchdown Club, real quick. Those of you who've been here before, you can read in the program what we do primarily. Many years ago, back in '65, in fact, we'll be celebrating, or '66, we'll be celebrating our 50th anniversary next year at the Touchdown Club. We originally did what we're doing today, colleges, not only Texas Southern, Prairie View, but as you can see from our name up here, all those colors represent like purple TCU, OU, Rice, Texas Tech, Texas A&M, SMU, Baylor. The the original Southwest Conference, which we primarily dealt with colleges, having speakers or coaches in those colleges. And several years ago, the board thought it would be primarily when the demise of the Southwest Conference happened that we expanded out and started honoring high school kids and everything. And it's really become a passion with our board and with our club that we do these honors for these high school kids. We do a preseason all Greater Houston team, not only for public schools but also private schools. We do a postseason after the season where we honor these kids, and it's just a tremendous amount of satisfaction to all of us to see these kids be recognized not only from a standpoint of playing football, but we also have an athletic, we have a scholarship, an academic honor. We also luncheon that we feature these kids at. One of the other things that we do that I'm very proud of is we were able to hook up with a couple of Milby coaches. Field camp with Milby and Corby Roden to start about 5-6 years ago what's called the Senior Showcase. Some of you may be familiar with it, but it's an opportunity for kids that are not 5-star, 4-star, blue chip in high school, but want to continue their playing career. And it's kind of like an NFL combine. And along with the partnership with the Houston Texans, we used the bubble out there to have this in February, and over 700 kids have taken advantage of this, and right at $70 million in academic athletic scholarships at Division II, NAIA schools have been awarded to these kids, and it's something that we're very proud of. So if you've got any kids that are seniors this year that may not be up here and get a chance to play Division I football and want a chance to keep playing when they go on to college and get a little help, then they need to be aware of the Senior Showcase in February and come out. Again, thanks everybody for being here. At this time, I'm going to introduce, we have a partnership with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. They always help us out. If you'd like to be connected with them, and I'd like to ask Carl Miner with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes to come up here and give her invitation.
Normally, I'm accustomed to just doing it precisely what I'm asked to do. However, periodically you need to make adjustments, so allow me just about 30 seconds to make an adjustment. I serve as the pastor of the Church of Grace Fellowship and the athletic team pastor of Texas Southern University, and I'm affiliated with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Shall we pray? Gracious God, we're thankful for this day. We thank you for the wonderful privilege that we have gathered here today to celebrate these two amazing institutions, men, the faculty, and women and staff who work tirelessly to educate and help these young people be all of what you have created them to be. Thank you for the organizations that make this day possible, the touchdown clubs and both institutions and others who work behind the scene. We ask now, Lord Jesus, that you would be in our midst today as we fellowship, bless the food and bless the program in and of itself, that you would get the glory, because we realize that without you we could be nothing and we could do nothing. We pray for these teams that they'll take the field in athletic competition. We pray that you would grant them the fortitude to play with passion and competitiveness, but no life-threatening or life-ending career situational injury would occur to these young people. So we thank you for this day. Thank you for what it means, and thank you for what it will do in the lives of all involved. But we give your name praise, honor, and glory. In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, who orders our steps, we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Carl. Before I call Daryl up here, Daryl Luckett, to do our national anthem, I'd be remiss. You know, they always say there's behind every successful man, there's a woman pushing, and I forgot to introduce Kenny Houston's lovely wife, Gusty Houston, back here with Kenny. Now I would like to introduce a friend of the Touchdown Club, been involved with us for many years, Trust me, if you ever need anybody to sing the national anthem, you can't get a better person than this, and I'll ask you again when he finishes to see what you think. Daryl Luckett.
Let us all stand. We honor the men and the women that risk their lives every day that we may enjoy our freedom, our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we've watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the most bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave over the land and of the free, and the home of the brave.
Was I kidding or what? Huh? Let's give him another round of applause. We've been very fortunate at Touchdown Club to have MCs of our various events that are connected with the sports scene in the Houston area, and today is no different than that. We have Butch Alsindor that's going to be our MC today, and Butch has been around Houston for about 20 years involved in sports. He's a former player, graduate of McNeese State. He played football for them. He's covered 5 Super Bowls, covered the Astros when they were in the World Series. He covered the Rockets, 2 NBA Finals with the Rockets, and this year he's going to be on Root Sports covering the games this year for Texas Southern. Going to be covering the games for Texas Southern this year on Root Sports on TV. It's a pleasure for us. He's involved in a number of charities throughout Houston. Always is available to help us out when we need him, and it's going to be a pleasure for us to listen to Butch today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Don, for that wonderful intro there. Good afternoon, everyone. And I say good afternoon, not really for you all, but it's kind of a special good afternoon for Mr. Earl Jemison, because we don't want it to be good night when Earl is done talking. So I'm just going to drop in just a little hint here before we get started. But welcome to the 31st Annual Labor Day Classic Luncheon, brought to you by the Touchdown Club of Houston. As all of you know, we come here today to preview the big game between Texas Southern and Prairie View A&M University. Now, Coach Willie Simmons from TV, he's a little new to this series because he's a first-year head coach, and on Monday at the press conference, I think we kind of caught him a little off guard. So I know, Coach Simmons, you came here today and you're ready to bring it, right? Yeah, okay, he's nodding and smiling, but we know he will be. Now, before we get to comments from the coaches and the administration, I'd like to bring up my friend and buddy. That's why I opened it the way I did. Here from the Touchdown Club board member, Earl Jemison, will come up now with a few short comments.
Thank you, Butch. And I'm going to take my time, too. Since Dr. Wright not here today, you know, President Wright here, that give me at least 5 or 20 minutes. I am one happy board member today. You know why? This is our 15th year. 15th year. give you a little history on this 15 years. Tony Wiley, before the Texans started playing, and Neil Farmer, where's Neil? Neil, Darryl Simon, they all been in the Touchdown Club for years. Have been trying to put on this particular event. They just didn't have the right player. So when they got Tony Wiley on board, Tony Wiley got the ball rolling. The Touchdown Club worked this way. You can have any event you want to have if it makes sense, as long as you have sponsorship. You got a sponsor, you can have an event, and it needs to make sense. There were two businesses at the time when Tony Wilde approached me. He said, we need some money to get it started. French's, Mr. and Mrs. Crusoe. At the time, I went to them and said, this would be something that's good for Texas Southern Prairie View, good for the city of Houston, and good for the community. They went, pulled out the checkbook, and wrote the check. Then I went to A. Rocky, said the same thing. This would be good for Texas Southern Prairie View, and most of all, we'd be giving back. DeAndre Sam wrote the check. They wrote the check. And we had our first event in this room, over 450 people. Believe it or not, I was sitting at the last table in the back, the guy that brought the money. So Mr. Sonny Sack, the last founder that was living at the Touchdown Club, said, young man, we want to keep this going, and I am bringing you to the board. And they had this big old nice thing for me, Dr. Rudley. I enjoyed it. Didn't have a clue what was going on with all my board members. And they said, come on, we want you to keep it going. So to stand here 15 years later with French's and A. Rocky getting the ball started for us, and I think we should give them a hand. Other sponsors have come along through this after years. This year we have CenturyCare. They've been with us for 3 or 4 years. And we can't thank them enough for joining in. When they started with us, they had 2 health centers. Now they have 6. And when you're a friend of the Touchdown Club, we make sure we do everything we can to help you. Now my board, stand guys. So all my board members stand. They've been coming, but someone said I never introduced them. Greg Greeno, University of Texas, banker. Keith Kilgore, former athletic director, Fort Bend, retired, president-elect that's coming in. TCU, your school. Abilene Christian. EJ Comshack. EJ, I ate his sandwich at the first board meeting because I had EJ on it. He has forgiven me since. Texas A&M. Gary Johnson. Wait, Gary. All right, turn around so we can see you, Gary. Okay, hold your back. Sell a lot of furniture all over the state. William Wayne, advocate, lawyer, professor. Thank you guys. And our president, Don True. Also, there have been some other people who've been coming over the years. Jordan Grove Church, Mr. Ellie Gould's neighborhood. Where's Jordan Grove? Wave your hand. All right. We got to get it in. I want y'all to keep coming back now. Where's the Bert Simmons? Bert Simmons was with us in the beginning too. He used to furnish the green room, but some kind of way the green room just moved on. Thank you, Bert, for all you've done. Bert been with us 15 years too. Did I miss anybody? Now, Dr. Rudley, they tell me you are 8 for 9 in this event. 8 for 9. I didn't know they was keeping scores. But I heard from the AD that they have to win the press conference, president, they scored everything. Everything we do right here, we didn't score the ball. But in this room, one of our board members, I left for last purpose. We sat in this room, his first year as the athletic director and president. He sat at the table and said, Prairie View A&M would do whatever it takes to make this happen. And that young man is Dr. Charles McClendon. And 15 years later, you can see he kept his word today. And we can't thank him enough. And if you read your story, you know him. And those gentlemen that you saw, some of him passed on, they thought enough of him to elect him to be our president for 2 years. He led this organization for 2 years, and he left us with some money. Weight room program. These tickets been $25 ever since y'all been coming for 15 years. Somebody said you can't get nothing for $25. $25 is what y'all been paying for 15 years. No, we're not going to go up, but you've been paying $25. We hope that each event will get us a weight room. We put $5,000 into a weight room. So for 15 years, this event has been buying weight room to support our kids. You should give yourself a hand for that. The Alexander Durden Nicholas Trophy, Coach Simmons, for some reason they didn't bring that trophy to you. I guess they didn't want you to see the trophy. But did you see the trophy over there? There's the trophy, Coach Simmons. Don't look at the trophy. The first year, Tony Wilder said the football god would descend from heaven before Prairie View beat Texas Southern. Isn't that what he said? That's what he said, right? The football gods. This particular game, the trophy after the game was at Texas Southern. They forgot it. Young athletic director, he forgot he was a board member at the time, standing in the middle of the field, want to know where was his trophy. Where is my trophy? I see a board member just like me. But he gonna ask me, where is his trophy? Texas Southern branded the trophy. PV athlete in the locker room. He gets the trophy, tell them the trophy's here. They all came out half naked. So coach, that trophy is important. That's my point. It's extremely important. But that's some history, because a lot of people come and you're seeing this event take place. And in presenting the trophy, Tony Wilder was supposed to present the trophy. But since the football guards didn't go our way, I called Tony and said, Tony, where are you? He said, Earl, I'm putting it up in my garage. I have confidence in you, you can handle it. So that's how I ended up with presenting the trophy. The Daryl Nix trophy. Another year, Prairie View had the trophy. For some reason, it broke, coach. I had to go to Lowe's during the game, put the base. When I got to Lowe's, all the people were working with Prairie View people. No Texas Southern folks, no way. We ain't doing that trophy's our trophy. I said, man, can y'all give me a hammer bill? I would never think to y'all myself. Just enough to get me through. So I tell my AD, trophy is torn up, man. He said, you better fix it. That's all I know, because we gonna get the trophy at the end. So they put some nails in the trophy. The whole process didn't work. But that's the history of how all this stuff got started. This stuff just doesn't happen. And Ms. Crusoe, I want to say this, and I want everybody to hear me. We talk about Ms. Crusoe with French's, but you want to talk about a hell of a businesswoman? Ms. Crusoe is a hell of a businesswoman. And she needs to be recognized for being a hell of a businesswoman. Because one thing she knows how to do, take your baby, go through tough time, and bring it back and build it back up. Well, now you have franchises, franchise stores. How many you have now, Ms. C? How many? 30 and moving. Now, between Ms. Crusoe and her son and the rest of the family, if you ever want to see a business, the model is like that. If I'm in business, I would be talking to Ms. Crusoe. She's a hell of a businesswoman, and I wanted to make sure that at 89 years old, she'd get up and go to work every day. 88, 89, Ms. C. 88, 89, which one is it? 88? So you go to church and tell them, watch how quick the rumor gonna go. So, we can't thank you enough. Oh, I won't be able to go home if I don't do the next part of this thing. Will my wife please stand? She got on one of these little New York outfits, we gotta have nails and all that. That's my wife, y'all. Okay. Mr. Elliott, Mr. Douglas, Wade, Mr. Douglas helped us when we first got going as well too. See, y'all supposed to be eating lunch, so that's why it was going on. Thank you for everything that you've done, and you helped us with the joint group. The president of the NAACP, our historian, we can't thank you enough. Now, he the guy that told me last year that I need to introduce all my board members by name and quit having them stand up because they've been coming for so long. So blame him for that. Now, John Harvey, where's Doc Harvey? John Harvey, retired, good to see you. I heard Jesse Hirsch was in here somewhere. Where's old Jesse Hirsch? Jesse Hirsch? Oh yeah, old Jesse Hirsch. Pray for you. Hey Jesse. These guys, you young coaches, you're standing on their shoulders. You are standing on their shoulders because the things that you all are going through are nothing like the things that they have to go through. So I think I pretty much, the Panthers backers. Where are my Panthers backers? My purple wearing jacket people. All right, let's get it in. Can't forget my Panthers backers. Some of these folks call every year and want to give us a check. So now I think that I have pretty much did everything I was supposed to do. Butch, you know, one day I did send a note up here to tell the folks we had to go to the TV station if they were too loud, so thank you for not sending me a note. And Mr. Ashton Robinson, we can't thank you for everything that you do. I see you got your beautiful bride with you today. For every folks, I tell you, we can't thank you enough. See, you keep them scores now. I'm gonna give you a hint. Whatever you do, don't read no paper today. You won't hear about it. Y'all have a good day.
Earl, thank you very much. And before we move on, Earl, I want to apologize real quick because I said that he would go too long. Actually, this is the first time ever at this luncheon I had a chance to finish my chicken, so I want to thank you very, very much.
Yeah, I'm really about to mess up. The chairman of Central Care Board, Mr. Nelson, will you please stand? Mr. Nelson is the chairman of Central Care Board. He has his wife with him. Stand please, because I need to get there, keep those checks coming down. Everybody see them. Yeah. And Mr. Nelson, you did a wonderful job in the CEO y'all had. That's a TSU graduate. What'd you say, sir? She's a PB graduate? See now, that's 2 checks. Thank you very much for Central Care support. And if you look on their paper, they're branding their new name and their new CEO. Your CFO, who did you bring? Your CFO? Oh yeah, you need to stand there. Stand up so we can see, because you write your checks. Now you understand what the checks are for, y'all, right? Y'all got it? The CEO, Rita Thomas, HID. What you doing here, Rita? Because you want to be. Okay. All right, Rita. Looking for a check.
Thank you. Well, but you did make one mistake. You never ever say how old a lady is because she told me. Okay, all right, good. You checked in advance, and that's great. What this luncheon is really about is to preview the big game between Texas Southern University and Prairie View A&M University. The thing is, though, we do it in kind of a unique and entertaining way, but it's all done in fun. We basically have a trash talk winner today, and then we have a winner at the football game coming up on Saturday. Now, most of you know the Labor Day Classic started back in 1985, with the first game being played at the Astrodome. And you can remember to last year, it'll tell you just how competitive this series is. Last year, the game was played at NRG, and Texas Southern took a 37-35 victory. It was that close down the stretch. Now, this series is extremely competitive on the field, and it's because both schools get tremendous support from off the field. Here to talk about that is Dr. John Rudley of Texas Southern University.
Thank you, Butch. Since Donald Trump is copying me and wearing caps all over the country, I guess I'll wear my cap now and proudly display Texas Southern University. Let me say to you all that I have a few announcements first, and I think they're significant. One is that Texas Southern University, through the hard work of Tony Chase, and when y'all see Tony Chase, I want you to thank him. And Doug Hall, who is the executive director of the NCAA Final Four Committee. Texas Southern has been named as a host institution for the NCAA Final Four. It's the first time that a black college has ever been named to be the host of the NCAA Final Four. I also believe it's the first time that the NCAA has ever had 3 schools host the NCAA Final Four. So Texas Southern had that distinction, and I'm so proud that we had people working on our behalf to make it possible. I'd like to also say that Dr. White isn't here, but I want to send a message to him and say to him, I think he and I are probably 2 of the hardest working presidents in the United States of America. And I say that because we do a lot of what we do without the resources that our other institutions have, traditional white institutions have. But we have probably the greatest reward as black college presidents because we can see the changes that we make in the lives of our students. And with that in mind, I want to mention to you that we should be thanking Dr. Wright for the fact that Prairie View is going to have its own home stadium by next year this time. Let's give it a round of applause. We shouldn't let these significant moments go without recognizing them. If we don't recognize them, no one in our community is going to recognize them. It's our responsibility to recognize this work. I'd also like to announce the fact that Texas Southern is going to have the game in the Dynamo Stadium. As you all know, this is our first year really hosting it. So we finally are hosting it. We're not in the NRG. And I think that's a significant point for us that we have our own facility. We have the opportunity to host the game. Of course, we'll be having many guests that will come and hopefully will increase the revenue associated with the game. I'd like to also note the fact that the hard work that Dr. Wright and I do, sometimes it's hard to wake up in the middle of the night when you have problems on your campus, but when you see our wonderful students that walk across our campus, it makes it all worthwhile. And today I want to recognize Crystal Owens, who is the president of our SGA, and she makes my presidency worthwhile. Crystal, please stand. We're also going to, this next homecoming, I was always a little bit disappointed that we'd always have a Hall of Famer here from Prairie View, Kenny. And he'd always represent Prairie View, and I'd say, well, I wonder when we're going to have one. Well, we got Michael Strahan. That wasn't bad. So let's give Michael Strahan a round of applause. Maybe we'll have him here. We also had Trey Walker, who got drafted by the Ravens off the current team last year. So he's continuing the stellar performance of some of our student athletes. As a matter of fact, we're going to honor 55 TSU former football players who played in the NFL at our homecoming this year, 55. So I'm going to end and not talk much football because I have a special guest to talk about football. And although he's a former secretary of the U.S. Department of Education, the Honorable Rod Page, he has another life. And I've always known him since my days at Texas Southern in 1980. So I'd ask former Secretary Page to come up, be my special guest, and for you, talk a little football. Secretary Page, please welcome him.
Thank you, Mr. President. This gives me an opportunity to thank you and congratulate you on the leadership of a great university, Texas Southern University. Let's give our president a round of applause for it. I've been involved in a lot of activities in my career, but it all started with football. In the early 70s, I came to Houston to coach Texas Southern University and be athletic director. And those experiences are indelible in my mind. They have never gone away. In fact, all the other things that I've done, I've drawn back on my opportunities as a football coach, as a football player. We just should always remember the importance of this game of football. It really makes men out of boys who grow up to understand the difference in being a team player and a non-team player, the importance of following the rules, and things like that. Had a chance to coach against Prairie View several years, and for the
Ladies and gentlemen, in Prairie View, let me announce, we never lost a game to Prairie View. We expect our coach to lose one here today. Although I had some great players, I remember the last game that I coached at Texas Southern University. Well, it was the last game I played against Prairie View. We were in Astrodome. And it was a really tough game. Prairie View was leading going into the last few minutes of the game. And finally, I was real disappointed in my defense. And I had one guy who wasn't the brightest bulb in the bunch, but he was an aggressive, hell of a terror, future moving guy. So I grabbed him and said, "Get in there and get vicious." I looked around and he was coming back off the field. So what happened? He said, "Coach, I didn't see vicious out there." Once I got him organized, sent him back out there, he did get vicious. So I want to thank both the president of Prairie View and the president of Texas Southern University for this great tradition that's been going on forever and ever, and we look forward to it to continue to go on. And you named a few outstanding athletes from Texas Southern and outstanding athletes from Prairie View. But I won't bore you with the history, but let me tell you, that's just a sample of the great kids that have come through these two great universities and the way they've conducted their lives and contributed to their society. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary. This series is about two things, tradition and bragging rights. So let the bragging begin. With that, we will start with Prairie View Athletic Director Ashley Robinson.
Mr. Emmcee, I do have my photo, Dr. McCullough. I do have remarks from my president. So, Mr. Emmcee, thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank the Touchdown Club for hosting the 16th annual Labor Day Classic Luncheon. I'd like to recognize my president, Dr. Wright, in his absence, our administration, athletic staff, alumni fans, and supporters. I would like to recognize the PVAMU Foundation. Mr. Perry, would you please stand, and the trustee. I would like to recognize the Panther Batters. Would you please stand? I also would like to recognize International Brotherhood of Electric Workers, Texas Farm Bureau, AT&T, Pepsi, Apple, Ford, and Hyundai of Brenham, Christian Methodist of Willowbrook, PV Athletic Club, Sheraton Galleria, and Sodexo. I think Gabe Lewis is here today. Would you please stand, Gabe? It's the 31st year of the Labor Day Classic. Success for PV athletics means excellence, both on the athletic field and in the classroom. Therefore, the vision is to be among the top institutions in athletic achievement, as well as NCAA athletic measures, such as student-athlete graduation rate, and the academic progress rate, and the graduation success rate. I would like to congratulate TSU for winning 6 championships, winning the C.D. Henry Award, and announcing the Roots TV deal. And being the host for the NCAA Final Four. Mr. Perry, it's a great time to be a parent. Always exciting things goes on the Hill. Ain't that right, A.D. McCullough? I would like to invite you all down to the Hill, to the campus, and the construction of the athletic complex, the football stadium, the track and field stadium, and the soccer complex. Coach Asbury, guess when you get the cuffs off? It's a new sheriff in town, by the name of Shotgun Willie Simmons. And he keep it low. Charles, there's no time. I understand we on the clock. We'll be on time for the game on Saturday. The clock will start at 8 p.m. Saturday night. And I want to say this again, like you mentioned in the press conference. It will be a lot of swarming. I agree with you. A lot of hard hitting, and a lot of purple and gold. I have full confidence in Coach Simmons and his staff. See, when you work in Coach Asbury and you trust your head coach, you don't need a clock. As I close, I would like to invite TSU fans to the game on Saturday. As you know, PV will do their part. We would love to see no signs of orange on Saturday. And we welcome you all to the hill of the Labor Day Classic in 2016. I will now read remarks from Dr. Wright. I look forward each year to this very nice, truly, and understanding lunch program that brings two universities and supporters together. Therefore, I'm disappointed that I cannot be with you today due to my needing to attend the Texas A&M System Board of Regents meeting, where I will present PVAMU budget for this year's school year. This game, TSU and PVAMU, is very significant for a number of reasons that you all are aware of. The winner emerges to the first place of the Southwestern Athletic Conference Western Division race for championships. Fans for both teams live in the same areas in Houston, and throughout Texas, this game means to them than any other game on Step. Texas and this game means more to them than any other game on Step. Furthermost, this rivalry with TSU means more than ever this year to PV because we have a new head coach in Willie Simmons. This program needs to get off to the right start. We need to have a great year to build the excitement of our new football stadium and athletic complex that happens next year. This is my 13th football game against TSU. Given that TSU is our major rival, then my record of 8 wins and 4 losses is very good. But I'm mindful of TSU won the last year and have won 2 of the last 3 games. So even though I'm not here in person today, I want everyone to know that, especially TSU, that I'm much more humble and head bowed down George Wright than I've ever seen before. The primary reason is the new level that I have come to realize that something has happened when we get beat by TSU in anything, but especially in football. Last year we lost the football game, and guess what? Our former head coach is now the defensive coordinator, defensive back coach. Cynthia Cooper, her coach at PVAMU, where she ended up at women's basketball coach at TSU. Coach Hayes was once at PV, but now she's at TSU women's basketball coach. Reverend Minor left PV to become the athletic pastor at TSU. I wonder if being at TSU makes Reverend Minor closer to heaven than we ever said. And in that case, it surely we will lose our employees as well. There are many more. Example, Eddie Davis left PV, and now he's the head equipment manager at TSU. Stephon Robinson wrote a very beautiful post for PVAMU, but I'm willing to bet that his words are even more poetic at TSU when he serves as marketing and promotion manager. Andrew Roberts left PV, and now he's the sports information director at TSU. And since then, we have never quit but been the same again. Michael Robinson, the head baseball coach at TSU, once held a lofty position at PVAMU. Coach Adams, the head volleyball coach, was at TSU once. Was at PVU, now it's at TSU. And even Coach Brown, TSU associate head coach and recruiting coordinator, our budget was so small he was only there for 1 week. But of course, I have left one name out, Dr. Charles McCullough. He converted to TSU so quickly and so fully that I once having worn the purple and gold in his remarks today. Dr. Charles McCulley, former PVAMU athletic director, is the vice president of athletics. Let me repeat, Dr. McCulley is not just an AD, but a vice president of athletics. Gosh, that's a big time stretch. Before drafting this letter, I told Ashley Robinson that not only did I need to be humble this week, but that he needs to be that way as well. I fear that a loss on Saturday will result in becoming McCulley's assistant, or me becoming President Rudley's assistant. And of course, the decision will be controlled and determined by TSU. I do know that if it was me, I would beg Dr. McCulley, with no sense of pride on my part, to allow me to carpool with him to TSU. I know I shouldn't mention this, but I will anyway. Worse than Robinson or me going to TSU, it would be that our new head football coach, Willie Simmons, would make their offensive coordinator and quarterback coach. In that position last year, Alcorn Simmons beat us about 77-24. So I can only guess what we can do at PVAMU North. Oops, I mean TSU. Every year, after attempting to interject in some humor, I make the point that TSU and PVAMU are not most alike, but we're different. And we have some of the same challenges. Indeed, we have alumni who have attended both schools, so in reality, we're one big family. Since July, we have received media coverage because of the tragic death of Sandra Bland. And I saw where a forum about her was held at TSU campus. I was very pleased to see TSU address its head on the tragic issue that occurred at PVAMU. TSU has been the attitude of President John Rudley. Charles and Ashley get much worked up about this game than John and I do. Or at least that gives the opinion that he has given me over the years. He always wishes us the best for PVAMU, and I appreciate that greatly. President Rudley is a very bright man, one who I benefit greatly from knowing, and I appreciate his comments that he makes at the Texas State Legislature when testifying before me. Both he and his wife has been very kind, very generous to Valerie and me, and I'm not sure that he realized that every year around January I call and find out what he and his wife are doing for vacation in the summer, and my wife and I tend to do the same thing. I know how to follow and act like a class act, and that's surely what Dr. Rudley is an excellent president and a good man. My conclusion is very short. I pray that no matter who wins the game on Saturday, that no player get hurt, and both teams emerge as winners off the field. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ashley. And Dr. Wright, telling his message was well received. Of course, we already mentioned that Willie Simmons is in his first year at Prairie View A&M. Of course, last year he was the offensive coordinator at Alcorn State, and they had quite an offensive machine rolling, so he did a great job there. Today, though, he gets to step in the fire here at the Power Center. Coach Simmons, you got the mic, sir.
Good afternoon. It's a tough act to follow, Dr. Wright. I appreciate that. First, I would like to thank Dr. Wright in his absence. I also like to thank our athletic director, Ms. Ashley Robinson, and his wife, Danielle. I truly believe we have the finest athletic director in all of college football. I'd like to thank my lovely wife, Shea Simmons, for being here today and allowing us a little bit of time for my newborn 6-month-old daughter. Today is a special day. Before I begin, I'd like to take a quick second to make a note of something that I said on Monday. And talking about this rivalry, I used the word hate. And I'd like to say that that word was not what I meant. Definitely not a hateful rivalry between the two schools. Talking about two of the finest institutions in America. And that there are a lot of alum on both sides who love one another, who have a lot of admiration for one another. So I'd like to apologize for using such a negative word when talking about this rivalry. My wife didn't have my notes on my phone, so I got to read off my phone today. thank Mr. Ashley Robinson for allowing me the opportunity to finally have my team on December 16th of 2014. You know that I said my team, because as soon as I stepped on campus, that was my football team. So coach, it won't take me 4 years to get mine. I got mine right now. This team that we have will be ready to play. We understand the importance of this game. We know that we have a lofty opponent that we're facing against this Saturday. We understand the importance of what's on the line, not only from a rival standpoint, but also from a conference standpoint. Because, like mentioned earlier, this is a Western Division game, and the winner of this game will be sitting top of the Western Division standings, and the loser will be at the bottom. So, of course, our team is working extremely hard. I see that Coach Asbury has his entire staff here today. I appreciate you allowing them out of the office to work. So obviously they're already ready to play, so they don't have to be in the office working today. All my coaches are up there getting practice scripts together and ready to go, so we have practice today. So I appreciate y'all taking wins of y'all to get ready to beat us on Saturday. So we took Sunday off. Our guys Sunday off. I see a lot of familiar faces amongst the coaching staff there. Some guys that I've known for a long time, other guys who I have a lot of admiration for. Again, Coach Northern, again, we've known each other, run into each other, played against one another for 3 years now. I have a lot of great admiration for him, and I'd like to thank him for leaving me a talented football team. I remember 3 years ago we got to Alcorn State, and I truly believe we wanted to beat Waller High School back then. And you actually left a team of talented players, so I appreciate your recruiting efforts and getting some good players there. Coach Thornton and I go way back, and Coach Thornton and I share a lot of friends, some of those guys on my staff here, and even though Coach Asbury forgot about you at y'all's media day that day, I always remember saying you're a good buddy of mine, and I appreciate you. And anytime I talk about my coaching buddies, I never forget you, so you're dear to my heart. So. Coach, I know Coach, you remember you. He just kind of had a lot going on that day. But in all seriousness, though, this is truly a great time for both universities. This game kicks off football season. This rivalry is so unique that across the country, probably 99% of rivalry games are played the last game of the season. And a lot of times in those situations, there's not a lot to play for. Some teams are sitting at the top of their conference standing, some teams are not doing so well, and there's not a lot riding on the game other than beating your rival. But in this case, because there's so much riding on it, it does highlight and kick off this great football season that we're about to embark on. So, we're thankful for the opportunity to be here today. We're thankful for everyone being here to support. We hope to see all of you and thousands of other ones at the game at BBDA Conference Stadium this coming Saturday. Because like Mr. Robinson said, we hope to see a stadium that has got an ounce of orange that we can see. Because again, both of these schools have fine young men, and these young men deserve to walk into a football stadium that's packed to the roof with fans who support them in their endeavors, because they do a lot more than most of you realize. And Mr. Houston and some of the other former players here understand that. And these young men endure things that the normal college student they don't endure. They're up early hours in the morning. You have to get up to lift weights. Our football players wake up in the morning at 5:45 to go lift weights. Because we have right now we have one weight room. And of course, when we build our new athletic facility that's being built right now, we'll have another one, and then we can share or stagger the weight room. Right now, we have to fit 18 sports into one weight room. So our football players wake up twice a week at 5:45 to work out. Of course, they have to go to study hall. They have to get 8 hours a week of study hall to ensure that they stand on top of their academics. For us to continue to climb ourselves, out of the hole that we dug in, and now we're out of that hole and doing very well. You're proud of our student athletes that taking care of their academics, and our APR this year. Once Ms. Johnson finishes running all the numbers, she'll be somewhere upwards of 950, which is phenomenal. So that's definitely something that we emphasize there at Prairie View, and something that we take extremely serious. Because again, we do represent not only Prairie View, but the SWAC Conference, also the MEAC Conference, and all the other HBCUs in the country. And for us, we understand that there is a negative resources. We need to be able to give our young men, everything that they need, and young women also, to be able to be successful in the classroom. And because again, they put themselves on the line every week to go out and represent Prairie View and Texas Southern and all the other colleges across the country. This will be a hard-fought football game. As you know, this rivalry is never really any blowouts. So a lot of times it comes down to the last drive, last play of the game, situations like that. So we fully expect to play a 60-minute football game. And again, I'm trying to keep my record going. I'm 3-0 versus Texas Southern as a play caller. And definitely like to be forward though after Saturday evening. So my team understands that, they know that, and we'll be ready to play on Saturday. I look forward to seeing you all. Go Parents.
Coach Simmons, thank you very much, sir. Now we're going to switch over a little bit and go to this side of the table for the Texas Southern side of this big rivalry. And I'm going to sit down and buckle my seatbelt. I think you guys should probably do the same thing. Our next speaker actually guaranteed a victory at this same luncheon at this time last year. And then his head coach went out and delivered on that promise. Will he be as bold this year with his prediction? We're going to find out right now. I'd like to call up the TSU Tigers Vice President of Athletics, Dr. Charles McClellan.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's definitely a pleasure to be here. Before I get started with my comments, I would like to say a couple of thank yous. The first person that I always have to reach out to and say thank you to is Madam Caruso. You've always been a second mom to me. I love the Frenchie's chicken. When I went to the doctor, they said you either stop eating Frenchies or take cholesterol pills. I chose for the cholesterol pills. I've always forever eaten Frenchie's chicken. A-Rocket movement. I've always said, wherever they go, wherever Texas Southern goes, it's always a joint venture. They move us, and A-Rocket has always been there for us. Central Care, thank you for the continued sponsorship. You've been with us from day one. We thoroughly enjoy you and sincerely appreciate what you do. I would like to have Doc Harvey to stand. He retired after 41 years of service. One of the most well-respected trainers in the nation. And they forgot to put your name on the list. Doc Harvey is working at Prairie View as well, but I guess I hired you too. Back when you was working at Prairie View in 1964. I would like for the athletic staff to stand. Ashley would have asked for the Prairie View staff to stand, but none of them are here, so I do want the athletic staff to stand. I would like to thank you all. These are the individuals that make us go. These are the individuals as to the reason why we've been as successful as we've been today. And I would also be remiss, and I know she is going to be surprised by this. I would like Prudence to stand from the law school. Prudence, please stand. The law school, Texas Southern University, has supported this event for all 15 years. And they have supported TSU athletics. They're one of the few that call and say, Charles, I want to buy tickets. I don't want free tickets. So Prudence, I would like to publicly thank you as well. I would like to get into my comments now. Ashley did pretty good this year. Last year he came with a sheet of paper. This time he came with a folder. It's pretty good. Initially, I stopped listening to him when he started talking about what Dr. Wright was going to say down on a piece of paper because Dr. Wright didn't hear. I don't think it's fair that you should